Now, something very strange has happened this last week. I find myself needing to go to the grocery store more often, and when I'm there, I sort of forget things, and that means that I need to go back a second time. And then I also started to go into the gym 2 times per day now instead of my usual 1. And I think a lot of that has to do with the car that I'm driving this week. I mean, this is, of course, the GT63 AMG from Mercedes. I mean, I have fallen in love with this vehicle. If I had 2 cars in my garage, the perfect garage for me would be, of the cars I've reviewed, would be the V60 Polestar engineered, the wagon for daily driving, and then this piece of art for the weekends. I mean, this has 577 horsepower for the GT63. The lineup is crazy. You have the GT43. I'm not sure who in the right mind would get this vehicle with a 4-cylinder, but that was to get it in 43, just over 400 horsepower. Then you got the GT55, still the same twin-turbo V8 that we have under here, 469 horsepower. And then you have this. Right in the middle sits the 63 with 577 horsepower, twin-turbo 4-liter V8 under the hood. You can go up to the GT63 Pro as well, 603 horsepower. Same base car as this, even though it's more track-focused, or if you want to go completely nuts. However, I don't understand why you would want to do that and pay that extra money for it. You can go up to the hybrid version, the GT63 E-Performance. That comes out to over 800 horsepower. But I can let you know why you do not need that one. Because this one, keep in mind, these are German horsepower. Now, German horsepower compared to any other horsepower always feel way more efficient. 577 horsepower in this. It launches this like an absolute rocket. I'm going to show you that when we take this for a drive later on. And this is the one I would personally pick in the entire lineup. I think this is absolutely perfect. You have this Hydra blue, Magno blue color. This is a $3,100 option for this. Matte blue, still this beautiful metallic sparkle to it. You have the ceramic brake package, $9,000 option for that. We have a stunning interior, even though we have a lot of screens in here. This is honestly one of the most cozy interiors I've sat in this year. I'm gonna let you know why later on when we talk about the interior. And the wheel design. I mean, Mercedes, thankfully coming back with some silver wheels. These are some of the best looking wheels I think I've ever seen on a production vehicle, straight from factory. AMG just crushing it when it comes to wheel design. These are the optional 21-inch. Of course, we're going to have a look at the front end design, the side, the rear, the interior, and then of course, we need to take this for a drive. Learn design sketching online with me. My online class is now only $47. If you have any desire to pick up the skill of sketching products using simple tools, such as just a big pen and some cheap print paper, this is something you want to check out. Now, over the years, I've taught over thousands of students from all around the world how to sketch cars and products using my simple sketching techniques, and most of them have seen amazing results from my classes. Analog Designer Pro Pack is the full bundle of all my classes I've released over the years, and it's yours for just $47. You also have a lifetime access to all the videos. Check out everything that's included and see what my students have to say in the link in the description, or simply visit analogdesignerpropack.com. Now, before we go in and talk about this beautiful, beautiful design, let's have a look at what's under the hood of this. This very long hood, by the way, as you can see. We have a twin-turbo 4-liter V8. For the GT63, we get 577 horsepower, 590 pound-feet of torque connected to a 9-speed automatic transmission. You do have all-wheel drive as standard on every single AMG GT. However, you can put it in drift mode, which means that you do get all the power sent to the rear wheels. 0 to 60 for this, 3.1 seconds. Fuel economy is not the best, but who cares? It's 12 city, 19 highway, and the price as this one is spec'd comes out to $210,000. Now, this one is based on the Mercedes SL. It only comes as a hard top these days. We don't have the convertible anymore. That is the SL these days. Now, for the lineup, you can go with a GT63 SE Performance, putting out 805 horsepower, but honestly, you do not need that. And I'm going to let you know why, as I said before, when we take this for a drive later on, because this one is completely nuts. with the 577 horsepower. The layout here looks beautiful as well. Love that we have AMG and then handcrafted right here, and then you have the name of whoever made this engine. Is very hot right now, by the way. Mercedes AMG Germany, fully developed by AMG, this car. And I think if you compare the styling for this to the previous generation, this one looks way more conventional than the previous generation. What I loved about the previous generation was just how almost awkward the proportions was, because you had this very long hood and very short greenhouse. You almost you were positioned as a driver almost in the two-third backwards in the overall length of the vehicle. And now it looks more like a Porsche 911, more conventional proportions. Of course, it's still a very, very gorgeous, attractive looking vehicle. This one comes with an aero package. You can see the wing in the back there, for example. And we have this big, massive grille in the front end, a new design for this generation, where we have this opening now in the lower section as well. So this is completely open right here in the lower section. AMG here, parking sensors integrated in the front end. AMG logo up top, Mercedes, massive Mercedes logo in the front end right here. Front mounted camera located right there, and you also have active arrow underneath, or you can fold this in and out. For example, if you drive into a gas station and you need a little bit more clearance, you can lift that up. Now, I do like the overall styling for this. I think it's one of the best looking Mercedes on sale right now. And this to me is a car that feels like, it's like Mercedes made this car to show people that they still actually know how to create beautiful looking two-door coupes. They've been a little bit, off with their designs when it comes to the EQ series specifically, but now they are definitely back with this, and also the new E-Class. One interesting thing though, when I reviewed the E-Class, the E53, it's kind of weird. I don't understand why Mercedes do not put this, the 4-liter twin-turbo V8, in the E-Class as an E63. It might come later, I hope they will, because the E-Class is still a pretty large sedan, and the powertrain that we have in this is just phenomenal with the 9-speed, extremely quick automatic transmission. Look at the housing for the headlight unit here. We have these 3 LEDs for the indicator, full LED lights, of course, with the black housing for it. I absolutely love this line, how it connects to the corner of the grille right here. It creates a very nice, beautiful line in this area, creating a nice housing for the top piece of the headlight unit. We have some functional air slots right here on the side with some black plastic. Graphic would want to have these being carbon fiber. Not sure if you can get that. And of course, blacked out grille. Now in this case, in the previous AMG GT, we had more of a smiling grille, but now you can see that it's more frowning like this. So we have, instead of going up like this, it now goes down and have this more frowning grille. But for the AMG GT specifically, I think it suits this vehicle, because this is it's supposed to be a bit of an aggressive, but still graceful design. And I think that, grille design that we have in the front end suits this vehicle so well. And then we have, of course, these 2 lines up top on the hood, creating a very powerful hood, still an extremely long hood. The proportions look great. Look how the fenders bulge out here on the sides, creating a nice stance for the front end. And these lines coming back to the SLK from 1996, or going back to even the SL from the 60s and maybe even the 50s, those 2 lines that we have in the hood. Now coming around to the side view, and thank you Mercedes, for not just offering black wheels. Even though the black wheels you can get with this, they look absolutely stunning as well. But these are 100% the ones I would go with. I mean, look at the design of these. We have 2 types of silver. So we have almost like a darker silver on the inserts here, and then the faces are polished. Very, very beautiful looking wheels. This one has a $9,000 carbon ceramic package, 305mm wide tires, 21-inch wheels in the back, planting this car properly on the ground. I love that it says AMG here in the middle, and the Mercedes star logo right there as well. Now looking at the overall proportions, and as I said, very, very beautiful looking proportions, even though I actually prefer the previous generation proportions, because it looked almost comical when you had the super long hood on the previous one. The A-pillar started somewhere here. Instead, they moved that forward now, And that makes it look a little bit more Porsche 911-like, which is not a bad thing at all, but it's just not as unique as the previous generation in my humble opinion. Now coming around to the side here, you can see that we have V8 biturbo 4MATIC, meaning it's a twin turbo V8, of course, with all-wheel drive. And then we have this. This is a piece that I am not a huge fan of because we have the black graphics in the front, and then this silver piece just kind of sticks out too much in the side view. Definitely want to just remove that altogether, or you can get it in black as well, and that is definitely something that I would 100% do for my AMG GT. Now looking up top, we have a sunroof, which is an option, something that I would definitely not option for when it comes to my AMG GT. I would just have a clear, fixed roof with no opening up top, so not something that I would personally pay extra for. You have some silver trim piece going around the windows here. I want to have this be blacked out as well, so I want to black out this, black out that side piece, and also black out this piece on the door handle right here. And I would still keep this color though, because this color gets so much attention. People love this color. I love it as well. It's called Hydra Magno Blue, I think. I'm gonna show you the spec sheets when we jump in and all the options that we have for this AMG GT. But the stance of this, I mean, come on. What a stunning, stunning car this is. I am absolutely in love with everything about this vehicle. Coming around to the side view, to the rear end, I mean, we do have, of course, the AMG GT63 badging, new taillight design, and thankfully, Mercedes did not put the weird star patterns in here. Instead, we have 3 LEDs right here. We have the reverse light located here, and then this black bar almost looks like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles mask in the back. We have full LED, of course. You don't want to have Edison light bulbs back here. You have full LED indicators, AMG inside of the taillight itself, and we have some more slots down here. Not sure if this is actually not functional. I don't understand again why Mercedes insist on putting this styling on every single vehicle they have. But look here, now that I'm sitting down here, look at how beautiful this slopes down and creates this nice, beautiful, organic muscle over the rear axle. Just properly planted this vehicle. What a stunning car this is. Now, as I said, this one has the aero package, meaning that you do get a fixed wing on the back. Something I'm not so sure. I think it looks pretty cool, but I'm not sure if I would option for that myself. It looks way more like a AMG GT Pro, which is more race or track inspired. But I do think it actually suits it. Now that I look at it like this in black, it looks very, very cool to have this on here. Even though without this, it would be a much cleaner rear end, I would think. But overall, I mean, the proportions, the graphics, the color, everything looks so good on this vehicle. All the way down low, we have the quad tailpipes, of course, sounding fantastic with the AMG stamped on the tailpipes right there. And you have a massive diffuser right here as well. So let me know what you think about this exterior design. I mean, for me, as I said, I do prefer the old generation because it looks more special to me with the long hood, the super small greenhouse. Here, the A-pillar is stretched out a little bit more forward than we had in the previous one, but it's still just a gorgeous looking design. Now let's open up the trunk. I want to show you, because this is a proper GT. You have a lot of space. Here's the key, by the way. Looking pretty cool. You have AMG right there, and we don't really have anything on the back except for AMG. We can open it up. Proper GT car. You can fit so much luggage in here. Now you can option this without the rear seats. Yeah, I would probably do that because these rear seats are completely useless unless you are a very small child. You basically have zero space back there. So I would not options for the rear seats. Instead, I would much rather have more luggage space. But you can see, being a proper hatchback like this, you have plenty of space for a long trip away. You also have space all the way down here, a little bit more underneath there. Looking beautiful. And of course, if you want more space, you can even fold down the rear seats right there. So for me, it's just a beautiful combination of it can be, if you put it in track mode, it becomes an extremely aggressive sports car, almost like a supercar vibe when you're driving this. And if you put it in comfort, it slows down and it becomes a GT Côte d'Azur cruiser that you just never want to get out of, and you just want to continue driving this vehicle. So with that said, we talked about the stunning, beautiful exterior design. Now let's go in and talk about this interior, because even though we do have a bunch of screens in there, it's one of the coziest interiors on sale right now. So let's check that out. Now these door handles, they are illuminated, so you have an LED right here at night. It looks very, very cool. Of course, it sits flush with the bodywork when it's locked. So let's open this up and check out this beautiful interior. What I love about this spec is that we have the ocean blue exterior design. You can see all the metallic sparkles here, even though it is sort of a satin color. Stunning. And then we have the beach vibe for the interior with the brown leather here. AMG in the backrest, looking beautiful. You have the controls for the seats in typical Mercedes fashion, located right here. Heated and ventilated seats as well, and you have the memory seat settings. Everything feels extremely high quality. I mean, you wouldn't expect anything else for $210,000. The door handle looks beautiful as well, with this wrapped brown leather and the metallic shapes or textures that we have. All the combinations here look beautiful to me. Stunning looking design. So let's jump in and fire this up, and let's talk about what's going on inside here, because this is where you want to be in an AMG GT. Start button right here, and thankfully you do have the automatic shut off and red light button right underneath it, so you just press that immediately when you fire this up. And you have the 12.3-inch gauge cluster, just over 11 inches for the infotainment screen right here. Let's turn off the hazards first of all. Now look at this. I sit very low in here. I'm wrapped. I feel like I'm wearing this car, and that is the feeling I want in a sports car like this. I don't want to feel like I'm sitting on top of the vehicle or too low. I want to feel like everything is building up around me, and that is exactly the feeling I get here. And also the feeling why I don't want to have a sunroof up top is because it ruins the coziness, and it also gets a little bit too hot when it's open right now. Now looking up top, of course, soft touch material all the way. I want to have these be soft touch as well. These are just hard plastic, or I would go for the carbon fiber package to not have this silver piece here. You can have this entire portion being in full carbon fiber. I want to show you the spec sheet for this, or the Monroney for this. You can see all the options that we have and why this is $210,000. So starting with the base price, $175,900. You have the Manufacture Hyper Blue Magno, $3,250 for that option. Carbon ceramics, $9,000. Another big option is the Burmaster sound system, $4,500 for that. Pretty crazy. And you have the driver assist package, $2,850 as well, coming out to $210,300 for this vehicle. I would still spec it with the optional carbon fiber in the interior here instead of the silver piece, which is just plastic. For $210,000, I would remove probably the sound system and add the carbon fiber instead. Some people say, I've watched some people say that these vents look cheap and feel cheap. I don't know what the heck they're talking about. I mean, the feel for this, you can see that it has some nice resistance to it. You also have a nice LED around it, so this lights up beautifully at night. You also have interior lighting going here and into the door panel, looking stunning at night, adding to this cozy feel that I want to see for AMGs and Mercedeses. Now this piece right here, what I like about this is it actually looks like this is now centered, not like we have in the C-Class, for example, where it's angled just a little bit. This is now centered. Love to see it. Going in here, you do have wireless Apple CarPlay, of course. We can go into these performance settings, for example. As you can see the suspension and all of that. You can have some more information here. Tire pressure, accelerated brake percentages. We can go into engine as well. You can see how much horsepower and torque we're using. Love the graphics. You can bring up this massive watch here as well to check out the time. I think this is a pretty classic layout to just have the watch here because it looks very clean. You can go into consumption here as well, of course, and check that if you want to see, if you care about the fuel consumption in this vehicle. I don't think a lot of people do. Now going back to the home screen here, we can go into settings as well. You do have, hold on, let me go into comfort, because you do have massaging seats here as well for both the passenger and the driver. Pretty cool to see that. Here you can change all the ambient lighting settings. You can have it in one color, in multicolor. You can have some effects, and you can also change the brightness here for the ambient lighting. So pretty standard stuff if you're used to Mercedes infotainment screens, and actually pretty easy to figure this out. The only thing that I would like to change is this area right here. All the climate settings is now inside of the software. I want to have it in an array down here. Very, very easy change to do. If Mercedes wanted to put physical buttons back, I would appreciate that a lot. You do have the buttons right here as well. You have, for example, this button right here. So you have the head-up display. You can raise and lower the front end like we talked about. This little lip in the front, you can raise and lower that if you want to. And a couple of more settings right here. Going into drive modes, you do have the drive modes located right here on the steering wheel. So now we're in comfort. You can go into individual, comfort, sport, or sport plus, or even go into race. And this is where it gets really serious. If you're taking this on the track, it becomes a proper beast of a machine. And I love the graphics inside of this little display here. They have the same thing on the left side, but here these are all customizable. So now you have traction control on and off, AMG dynamics, you can change that. You can go in and change the front lip like we talked about, lower it, traction control on and off, or you can go in on the top piece right here. For example, if you want to shift paddles manually, you can do that by switching from here to manual to drive. You also have the suspension settings here as well, right here in Sport Plus, Comfort, or Sport Plus. Even if you have it in Comfort, it's actually still pretty harsh. It's a pretty firm ride. I don't mind that one bit. It would be, maybe it would be suitable for this to have a one drive setting that is completely tailored toward comfort and the suspension being extremely soft, but I'm not sure. I don't know. You have adaptive sway bars in this vehicle, meaning that the car sits flat no matter how hard you're cornering in the corners. Great to see that. You have this compartment down here, 2 cup holders, USB-Cs right there, phone chargers located here. You can cover this up if you want to. You can see we have gloss black. Want to have this be as much carbon fiber as possible for my personal taste. Don't like the volume knob, volume buttons here. I want to have them be just a dial. Instead, you have to slide your finger or press it like this. It doesn't really feel good. I still want to have physical buttons right there. Opening up the center armrest, you have a small compartment here, but it's fine. I don't need a bigger compartment than this. You have LEDs here in addition to 2 USB-Cs with some LEDs on top of those as well. So I have everything I want in the glove, in the armrest. We have USBs with LEDs and LEDs here as well. Now looking at the seats, extremely comfortable seats. Love that it says AMG in the backrest right here. Heated and ventilated. We can actually turn that on right now because it's getting pretty hot. So let's turn on the ventilation for the seats right there. Proper bolstering, of course. You definitely need the bolstering in this vehicle because it handles very, very well. Even though it weighs 4,700 pounds, it's still a very good handling car. You can barely feel the weight of this. Now look at the gauge cluster. Mercedes is doing some of the best gauge clusters in the business right now. The reason being is it's fully customizable with this button right here. So you can customize whatever you want here. You can have the full navigation if you want to have that. I don't think it's very exciting to have that. You can go in and have it in sport, for example, brings up this completely different layout. We can go in and have it in track pace, another layout right there. You can switch out the information you have in the middle, for example, as well. So love to see this. If you have a full digital screen, this is what you want. You want to have it be fully customizable like this. Beautiful from Mercedes. Also a head-up display up top, which I personally do not really care about or care for. But look at these. We have these bulges. You can see these bulges when you're sitting in the driver's seat, showing you that you're driving something special. And I mean, I think this is the car I love the most driving out of all the vehicles I've reviewed, because I feel like my personality is very close to what this car is. It can be comfortable, it can be almost like a supercar, it can be so many things, but it's still in its core a very aggressive GT car. Now look at the steering wheel overall. Typical Mercedes AMG steering wheel here with the 2 spokes on each side, and you can customize. You have the volume controls here, voice command as well, cruise control settings, and to customize the screen right there in the middle on the left side. And we talked about these settings here as well. Pedals for the 9-speed automatic. You go into reverse, gonna pop up the reverse camera. Camera system is absolutely fantastic here as well. We can go into 3D view, so you can see exactly where the car is positioned on the road, and you can see these almost shields in front of it and back as well. So going back into 2D, we can switch around the cameras for each of these wheels as well, so you can see exactly where the wheels are positioned in every single situation. Great camera system, of course, trajectory lines. Great resolution here as well from Mercedes when it comes to the backup camera. Putting it back into park, just press this button right there. And I do think we talked about everything in the front end here. Let me know what you think about this interior. Also, another difference that is different from other Mercedes models is they actually added a housing for the gauge clusters. And this is what I wanted to see in pretty much every single other Mercedes, just to have some sort of housing for the gauge cluster and sitting deep inside of the dash. So with that said, we talked about everything in the exterior design that I wanted to mention, or everything in the front, in the interior as well. And now we're gonna take this for a drive, and let me show you what this is all about. You know, this car, the AMG GT, it makes me so happy. The reason being, for a while there, I thought Mercedes was starting to lose it. And I kind of still have that feeling when I see some of Mercedes' new vehicles and new designs. I'm not a massive fan of what they've been doing, specifically when it comes to the EQ series, and they knew that themselves. That is why they're completely ditching that now and bringing in a brand new design language that does not look like bubbles. But when I'm driving this vehicle, this feels like an old school Mercedes AMG to me. The noise, how it handles, you got rear wheel steering here as well. So even though it is a pretty big GT, heavy 4,700 pound GT, it feels very, very nimble on the roads, and it's so comfortable. This is one of these cars that once you get into this car and you start driving it, at least for me, I just do not want to stop driving this vehicle, because it's such a joy. It gives me pure happiness just driving this. It doesn't matter what goes on for the rest of the day. When I jump into this vehicle, it gives me hope for Mercedes moving forward, because this is obviously proof that they still know how to build a proper AMG with a big V8 up front. And we're slowly starting to see this, companies are starting to move away. I'm talking about the sports car sector here now. They're starting to move away from EVs, because EV sports cars, they are just not selling. And I do know the reason why. I've driven so many cars over the years, and every single EV I've driven feel exactly the same as the other. So there is no personality in the cars. And when you have a big V8 like this under the hood, this gives the car a personality. It gives the car, I know it sounds cliche, but it gives the car a heartbeat. When you can feel that when you're stepping on it, the car is putting in an effort with you, it's having fun with you. You can hear it, you can feel the vibrations and the noise, how it just pulls. It's such a different experience compared to EVs. Even though EVs go 0 to 60 in 1 second, I don't care. I don't care about that. EVs are just appliances to me. They don't have that engagement that you get with internal combustion engines. And I think everybody knows, everybody that's a car enthusiast, they know what I'm talking about. So I think Mercedes are going to bring back the V8s, hopefully in the C63 as well, the smaller sedans. But first of all, they have to bring the V8 back to the E-Class. I mean, the E-Class is made to have a V8 with it. And this powertrain right here, let's go into Sport Plus here, because we're coming out to this road. Because the E-Class, to me, the size of it, everything about it, it feels natural for it to have a V8, in my opinion. Now we have the 6-cylinder in the E53, which is still a very fantastic motor, but it does not compare to what we have here. So once we get out of this 35 zone, I'm going to show you what this is capable of on the roads, on twisty roads like this. Because even though you can have it as a GT, cruise down the Mediterranean coast down in south of Italy or south of France, where I think this would be a perfect car to have, specifically with this color in combination with the Mediterranean blue and this blue. What a perfect picture car this would be for that area. But let's go in and let's switch this up to, let's see here, to manual transmission, paddles, and let's go down to second gear and let's floor it. Let's go. I mean, come on, come on. It is so good, this car. Oh man. Oh, he gets my heart pumping fast when you're driving this. And the noise and the crackles, the bangs and everything that you get on the downshifts, it just adds to this drama that you want to have in an AMG. I still feel like these noises that we have going on here and everything that you hear from the engine is still a little bit too weak for a big AMG like this. Like I'm used to hearing a lot louder noises from a big V8, from the old school AMG V8s, and I feel like they still are not, Mercedes are still not back at that level with the old AMGs. This sounds great, don't get me wrong, and I don't think there is anything pumped into this vehicle. It could be, I don't know, I don't care, because it adds a lot to the driving experience. But I still think they could just turn it up to 11. Now we're at 10. Just turn it up to 11 and that will be great. But man, does it go. And this is the reason why I'm saying I don't feel like you need the SE Performance GT63, because if you feel like you do need that, I haven't driven it though, but this power is just more than you're ever going to need on regular roads. If you, for example, take your car to the track a lot, then you might want to go with the hybrid. But keep in mind that's going to be a lot more heavy than this as well. If I wanted a track GT, I would go with the Pro, the GT63 Pro, which has a little bit different suspension, I do believe, and it's more focused, set up for track use. That would be the one I would go with. It still has 603 horsepower. I just don't feel like I need the extra 200 horsepower compared to what we have in this one. Now this car to me sums up everything I love about cars in general. It's a revival of AMG as I remember it from my childhood. We have all the components that I want to see in a proper AMG like this, and the driving experience. I mean, as I said before, this is just a car you never really want to, you don't want to get out of this car because you always want to keep driving it. It's such an enjoyable driving experience. It's just too bad that it has to be $210,000. Otherwise, I would have one in my garage right now in addition to my V60 Polestar engineered. But man, is this fun. It's such a cool car, looking beautiful. Exterior design looks fantastic. I love to see that we have the silver wheels back as an option. And they look stunning as well with the 21-inch wheels. I would never ever switch those out. They are exactly the type of styling that I would want to see for my wheels. So overall, what can I say? I mean, that I haven't said already. It's just a pure masterpiece, this AMG GT. And Mercedes, you've done a great job. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.